Well, Blake Lively can't get enough of herself and thinks we can't get enough of her either. So she decided to attend the Time 100 Gala, where she addressed the Justin Baldoni legal saga, saying her mom is also a victim. But not only that, Jennifer Abel is clapping back at Stephanie Jones. The Obamas are addressing their divorce rumors by going on a date to shut down those rumors. And then we have Jax Taylor, who has checked himself into rehab on this week's episode of The Valley. I hope you're ready for it because there's a lot that we're going to get into today. Let's dive in. You're listening to No Filter with Zack Peter, your go-to source for all the latest pop culture and reality TV tea, served fresh all week long. Now, let's dive in. What's going on, guys? Welcome on in, welcome on in, welcome on in, welcome on in, welcome on in. What is up, everybody in the club? So much to get into. There's a ton of a lot that we will be breaking down that's happened in the last 24 hours. It is, a continuing saga, so to speak. That never seems to end. And here we are yet again, because Time, as we know, just named Blake one of their titans of 2025. We have the CEO that's defending their decision to, I guess, stand by Blake. And then we have her mom that came with her to the Time 100 Gala, and she made a speech, and it was a whole thing. So what do we want to start with? Do we want to start with Blake at the time? Let's start with Blake and the Megyn Kelly of it all, because Megyn Kelly was also at the Time 100 Gala and is clapping back at Blake. But I just wanted to first remind everybody that I am going on tour this summer. Tickets are on sale right now. So if you want to come hang out with me, watch a live taping of the podcast, we can break down all of the tea together. Then come on down. I'm going to be in Dallas, Phoenix, Philadelphia, Toronto, Brooklyn, Chicago, Seattle, and Los Angeles, doing a live taping of the No Filter podcast. So it is if you like our lives here on the internet, this is a live in-person experience. We're going to spill tea. We're going to talk a little stuff, and we're going to have some fun. We're going to get a little Liddy City, have a good time. We're going to meet up, do all the fun things. So come on down. Dallas, Phoenix, Philly, Toronto, Brooklyn, Chicago, Seattle, Los Angeles. It kicks off July 11th in Dallas, and we wrap things up August 10th in Los Angeles. Get your tickets now. They're selling fast, so you're going to want to lock that in. Go to nofilterlive.com, nofilterlive.com to get your tickets. You can do regular GA tickets if you want to come to the show. It's a lot of fun. You can come hang out, meet other Zack Pack members, meet other mommy sleuths and daddy sleuths. If you're single, maybe you can have a mommy sleuth and daddy sleuth, little baby sleuth together. Who knows? It'll be a fun time. You can also do the meet and greet package, which comes with tickets to the show plus the post-show meet and greet. Or you can do the full Zack Pack VIP package, which comes with a free piece of merch. It comes with VIP seating. It comes with the VIP pre-party. So we can do a fun we can hang out before the show. That's going to be a little more intimate. We're going to do a Q&A, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So get your tickets now at nofilterlive.com, nofilterlive.com. Okay, lots of fun special guests coming to that. Okay, let's start with talking about Megyn Kelly and what she had to say about Blake Lively attending the Time 100 Gala, or I guess the Time 100 Summit is going on right now. Ryan Reynolds, I believe, spoke the day before, and I don't know why they even gave him a platform. Like, this is clearly PR orchestration, and Time, just like the New York Times, just like SNL, they know what they're doing. They know that this is going to get us all to talk about it, but to Megyn Kelly's point, where are the ethics? Where's the integrity behind it? Well, let's start with what Megyn Kelly had to say to the Daily Mail when she walked the carpet at the Time 100 Gala. Here we go.
Hoping for some sort of a selfie in the distance with both Blake Lively and Meghan Markle, since they provided me with so many hours of content.
I mean, sure.
It's a ridiculous joke. She shouldn't be there. She has no influence over anyone.
I agree. It is a joke that Blake Lively is there. She should not be there.
I mean, I think she launched a fake Me Too allegation.
That part, period, Megyn, period.
Against him. And she's lived to regret doing it because virtually every allegation she has made has fallen apart. And so for her to be honored for doing that, to try to ruin a man over absolutely nothing, is
a scandal. Yes.
Scandal. Yeah. And obviously they're looking for big stars to come here and generate pages on their magazines, but that was very wrong. Right. We have to be very clear-eyed on what looks real and what doesn't, and call it out when it isn't. Otherwise, no one who's actually experienced these things is going to be believed.
Period. Couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you, Megyn Kelly, for saying that, because it's what we were all thinking, right? Like, Megyn Kelly, it just, why is she there? Like, what did she do? Again, they haven't given us any real legitimacy or reasons as to why Blake Lively was, granted this special honor of being the Titan of 2025. Well, actually, I guess we didn't until now. And now we have Time's CEO who is addressing the controversy. And she's saying, hold up, wait a minute. Blake Lively actually does deserve to be on the list. And here's what she claims.
I just want to know about Blake, more about her being on the list. What is it? What makes her so special? And I
think she's having a great year, and our role is...
I think she's having a great year. That's what she starts off with. I'm sorry, did you just fall out of a coconut tree, lady? You mean to tell me you think Blake Lively is having a great year? She said that she's been traumatized, and I define great year. Like, let's circle back to Megyn Kelly saying this is a ridiculous joke. I think she's having a great year. Which also, first of all, what a fucking idiot, right? To say, I think she's having a great year when Blake Lively is claiming to be a victim, okay? Victim. So to say that a victim is having a great year, especially when she's being exposed for all the crap that she and her husband have done over the last few years, several years, actually, the more we dive into their career, I'm sorry, lady. No, not buying it. Not going to buy it. Yeah, Monica Smart in the live chat says, what does a bad year look like? Yeah, I would love to see what a bad year looks like. And if she's having such a great year and that's why we put her on the list, is that also why you put Donald Trump, RFK Jr., JD Vance, all these very polarizing political figures? Are they also having a great year? Does Time100 stand by that? Snap, snap. Okay, let's continue.
To be the humanities guide to trusted journalism. And
she says that Time is supposed to be humanity's guide to trust in journalism. You want me to believe that you're the guide to trust in journalism when you're putting Blake Lively on your list of the top 100 most influential people, calling her the Titan of 2025? And I'm supposed to trust your moral compass when this was all spearheaded with the stunt that was pulled with the New York Times, because they were supposed to be the moral authority on what we considered the gold star standard for journalism? I'm sorry. The gaslighting is not going to work on me, lady. Unlike you, I did not just fall out of a coconut tree, and I'm calling BS on your BS. Let's continue.
So we're the storytellers. We've been telling stories for 100 years, and we're excited to tell her story.
Well, yeah, the stories we're now learning are a bunch of fairy tales.
And who are you most looking forward to seeing tonight?
Snoop Dogg, our host, Ed Sheeran, Miles Smith.
She didn't say Blake and Ryan. And that's all she says about Blake and Ryan. The rest, she just kind of goes on to talk about how amazing the Time100 is. But how stupid do you think we are? Honestly. Person of the year. Well, here's the thing. There's a difference between person of the year and the Time100 list, right? Person of the year is the person that has clearly captivated the year through headlines, chatter, culture, etc. They've always said that person of the year is not an endorsement, and person of the year typically goes to whoever the presidential winner is, right? So this year, presumably, person of the year will end up being Donald Trump. It was previously in the past Joe Biden, and it was previously Trump. That was a big controversy. So they've always kind of done this, right? Time Magazine has always picked the most buzzworthy person as person of the year. It's never been an endorsement, and it's never been them kind of co-signing anybody. But what's different about the top 100 most influential people, and then specifically naming Blake Lively the Titan of the year, That's a little different, right? Because you're putting the word Titan behind her, and then you're crediting her spot on the list to her 2019 donation to the NAACP. So to me, this does feel a bit more like an endorsement. It's not just saying she's influential. It's not just saying she's buzzworthy. It's saying that she's, yeah, because people are saying they also had Hitler and Mussolini, and yes, I know all of yes, but again, person of the year is very different from top 100 most influential. I would argue that their top 100 most influential list, especially with the way that it's broken down from artists to titans, that to me is an endorsement because you're considering her a titan. And a titan is not just a blanket term, a titan is an endorsement, right? And so then to further go off and say, oh, well, she's having a great year. Is she? Like, what? And you gave her this because she made a donation to the NAACP back in 2019, which again was after the fallout from her plantation wedding that she had with her husband Ryan Reynolds. So, yeah, sorry. Not going to fly with me, lady. Not going to fly. Not today. Not today. Okay, we'll continue talking about the Time 100 Summit, but first, a message from our sponsors. All right, guys, the countdown is on before the new administration exposes the entire pandemic. Most realize a large sum of people's health was negatively impacted by global coercion. Whether severe side effects or experiencing long COVID, check out this natural solution formulated by Dr. Peter McCullough in collaboration with the Wellness Company. And they've just leveled up their original detox formula for $30 less. Introducing the 3-in-1 Ultimate Spike Detox, conveniently constellated into one capsule with 4 times more nattokinase, 500 milligrams of bromelain, and 500 milligrams of turmeric root extract. Nattokinase, an enzyme researched for its anti-clotting effects, may work to break down spike proteins. Combined with bromelain and curcumin, it provides a potent blend for detoxification and cellular support. Crafted with 100% natural ingredients, Ultimate Spike Detox is backed by research offering effective support for your cell's natural repair and recovery. Experience the only formula approved and used by Dr. McCullough, a top freedom-fighting doctor who risked it all. Head to twc.health/nofilter and use code NOFILTER to get 15% off plus free shipping. Again, that's twc.health/nofilter and use code NOFILTER to get 15% off. Get back to that pre-COVID feeling. Are you sick of drinking your calories or waking up hungover? Having some drinks can be fun, but I'm glad that I found an alternative that lets me feel great in the moment and the next morning, and that is these out-of-office gummies from Soul. You may have seen them on my Instagram story, and it's because I'm actually really taking them and really, really loving them. Sometimes you just need a little something in the middle of the afternoon to help you get through the rest of your inbox, or something at the end of the day to help make your evening even more enjoyable. And that's where today's sponsor, Soul, can help. Soul is a wellness brand that believes feeling good should be fun and easy. Soul specializes in delicious hemp-derived THC and CBD products designed to boost your mood and help you unwind. Their best-selling out-of-office gummies were designed to provide a mild, relaxing buzz, boost your mood, and enhance creativity and relaxation. I'm telling you, they're delicious. I also love their drinks. The out-of-office gummies, they come in 4 different strains, so you can find the perfect dose for your vibe. You can choose from a gentle microdose, a perfect buzz, a noticeable high, or a fully lit experience. Litty City all the way. With wellness at the forefront, you can feel good about what you're putting in your body. All of Soul's products are made from organically farmed USA grown hemp and are vegan, gluten-free, and low in sugar. And if you like their gummies, then you've got to try their new out-of-office beverages. It's a refreshing, alcohol-free alternative that's perfect for summer sipping. Like I said, I've tried the gummies, I've tried the bevies, both very delicious. So you're going to want to give them a try. Bring on the good vibes and treat yourself to Soul today. In honor of 420, Soul is running a special on-site sale. Get 30% off your entire order. Just head to GetSoul, GetSoul, getsoul.com and use code NOFILTER. That's getsoul.com, promo code NOFILTER for 30% off. Go right now. All right, let's talk about Blake Lively's speech at this at the Time 100 Summit, because let's Um, I think it's important to mention not only did she attend this event with her husband, Ryan Reynolds, but she also brought her mother to the Time 100 summit. And everyone was wondering what's going on? Why is her mom suddenly, why is Elaine suddenly looped into this picture? And it all comes down to Blake Lively's speech. Speech, right? Let's listen to her speech. Why we're giving her an opportunity to have a speech? I don't know, but we did. Let's listen in.
I have so much to say about the last 2 years of my life, but tonight is not the forum. What I will speak to separately is the feeling of being a woman who has a voice today. And since I could speak, because of the pain, caution, and fight of the many women who have paved the way and the men who stood beside them.
Ryan Reynolds stood beside her amongst all her rumored affairs.
Millions I will never know the name of, because every life, every act, big or small, affects another. Before I say more, I want to warn that I will speak about tonight covers trauma, so please feel free to step away if you need.
Lady, I get trauma every time I see you, okay? Every single time I see you, I'm traumatized, and you never come with a trigger warning beforehand.
My life was influenced most by my mother, sitting here tonight, Willie Elaine McAlpin. She's an eternal optimist, and she's always leaving me messages, hooping and hollering and saying, "Woo, life's just a bowl of cherries." It's true, always. And she'll get your number tonight, and she'll leave you those messages, so please be warned.
She looks so traumatized. What a cute little anecdote.
But at her urging and her unwavering bravery, she wanted me to share with you that she is a survivor of the worst crime someone can commit against a woman.
The worst kind. I thought Baldoni telling you smelled nice was the worst thing you could do to a woman.
I've watched her conceal her raw and undeserved shame my entire life. So as her daughter, being asked to share this today is monumental. If we name it, we change it. Just as our fellow Time 100 honoree, the incredible Giselle Pellicot, put it to every woman who understood it. It's not for us to have shame. It's for them.
That was posted by People Magazine on their Instagram account. So, first of all, she claims that her mother is a survivor, which is the first time we've ever heard this, right? Number one. Number two, she doesn't really get into specifics. We don't really know a survivor of what? A survivor of having to raise Blake Lively? Like, I'm trying to understand, what is she a survivor of? Now, I don't want to negate any survivors' stories. However, I do have questions. Specifically, question number one. Hi, please call on me in the back of the room. Question number one being, why didn't you bring any of this up while you were promoting It Ends With Us? Last summer. It was literally less than a year ago that she was doing the promotion. People think that this felt like 2 years ago, but no, it was just last summer that It Ends With Us came out. It hasn't even been a full year since the entire PR debacle, right? Because remember, we had Ryan Reynolds' mother that was embedded into the promotion of It Ends With Us, but never once did we bring her mother. Not only that, but then I believe in this same speech, I saw a clip where Blake Lively says that this happened 3 years before she was even born. Zach, you have to eventually go and listen to the entire speech. Yeah, I've heard most of it. And she says that this incident that happened 3 years before she was even born. So I'm like, so this is a secondhand story. When did you hear this story? And why were you not using this story as a powerful, the same way you're trying to use this as a moment of empowerment now at the Time 100 Gala? You could have used this as a moment of empowerment with your mom. You could have still done your roses, right? Remember, she did her little flower arrangements, and she's like, guys, come and drink Betty Boo's, and let's make flower arrangements together to promote It Ends With Us. They did the Betty Boo's pop-up. Fine, cool, go do your Betty Boo's pop-up, but like, why not bring your mom into this? And why not let that be the powerful message that you give to people, is that, like, yes, you can overcome bad situations, but you can, come out of it still being, a strong, powerful person. If anything, it'll make you a stronger and more empowered person to continue to rise above, right? Whatever the message she wanted it to be, she could have tweaked the message to be a message of empowerment. And for all the people that now want to say, well, yeah, but, she didn't want to exploit her mom's story. Great. Then what is she doing here now? She's exploiting her mother's story, a story that we've never even heard of, a story that has virtually not existed until now, when it's a little too convenient for me. Stephanie says her mom is a DV victim and still chose to promote the film the way she did, which makes me wonder, did she even know her mom was a DV victim? And again, if you're using Ryan Reynolds' mother to do funny skits to promote It Ends With Us, then why not use your own mother, Elaine, who's a survivor herself? You know, it just, to me, it feels a little too coinkydink. I don't like coinkydinks. Carrie says, I don't believe a word that comes out of her mouth. Yanni says, didn't she say that she's never been affected by DV? If her mother went through what she went through, then wouldn't it have impacted her too? You would think, right? Sandy says it's not even her story. Well, yeah, it makes zero sense. Blake Smollett, not Blake Smollett. Oh, I love that the name is Mommy Sleuth. Makes zero sense. My opinion, but it seems sus. It seems very sus. I don't believe this story. Funny is an overstatement. Gwen says, I'm tired of the mainstream media still backing up and popping up liars like Blake and Meghan Markle. People can see right through their BS. Obvious propaganda. Paul Clay says she was honored for civil rights, but she refers to DV. Blake, how about the effect of on an innocent man when a woman lies and accuses him of SH? Yeah. Yeah. You know? Zack's deadpan resting bitch face during Blake's speech is epic. I just don't believe it anymore, right? Like, she's had so many opportunities to show us this side of Blake, and all she showed us was, congrats on your little bump. Like, nah, you showed us you were a bitch. Like, don't come up in here. Sorry, that came out. That was pure emotion. But, like, I'm sorry. Like, you showed us who you were, and you were not a nice person. You've never been a nice person. There are terrible stories about you. And now all of the sudden, what? You've just had a complete personality transplant. And now you're this meek, soft-spoken woman that wants to champion her mother. Like, that's not to say that you can't be both, or that both sides can't be part of your personality, but we've only seen one side of your personality consistently. It's been persistent through all these years. You've not been easy to work with. You've had all these rumors with, drama with other cast members, rumors with affairs with other married men that are your co-stars. Apparently, there were rumors about her co-star with Age of Adeline. There were rumors with Ben Affleck on the set of The Town. There were rumors with her and Ryan Reynolds on the set of The Green Lantern. Like, come on. If it quacks like a duck and looks like a duck, at some point it's going to say quack quack, and listen, she's quite the quack quack. It's crazy to me, Release the Zack. It just, no need to be sorry. She is a bitch, Carrie says. It's hard because it's like, I feel like I like to be such a champion for women. I was raised by strong women. My mom, for the most part, was a single mom. My aunts were single moms, for the most of raising their children. My grandmothers, my mom's mom and my dad's mom were both, more of the breadwinners and more of the ones that were keeping the household together and driving the train. So I definitely believe in the power of women. I just don't like when women are liars or not truthful or, are deceitful, and I think Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are an awful couple. I think what really pissed me off was last night, like, forget that. I'm going to take her off my screen. I don't want to look at her anymore. I just feel like with the filing that we saw last night, which was the Jones Work versus Jennifer Abel lawsuit, right? We reviewed that last night. It was like 70 something pages. And so it's the Jones Work, Stephanie Jones Work lawsuit against Jennifer Abel, Melissa Nathan, Justin Baldoni, Wayfarer Studios, and John Doe's 1 through 10 that are still unnamed. But so Jennifer Abel amended her complaint against Stephanie Jones and Jones Work, and reading that is so infuriating when you find out what they did to this woman on her final day of work, so I'll try to give it a brief recap. And then there's actually a really good article that Josh Boswell at Daily Mail wrote that I'll read as well. But it was actually kind of crazy. Loved the filing last night. It was so juicy, wasn't it? I don't want to look at her. I don't want to look at her anymore. I don't want her on my screen. The tilted lawyer seems to think there may be criminal charges. I did not read her first complaint, Jennifer Abel, because I was just like, this is kind of boring. Stephanie Jones, Jennifer Abel, like nobody really cares about them. But when you get into that story, it will make your blood boil. I was so angry. First of all, apparently the best way to describe Stephanie Jones is erratic, because every single paragraph we read, Stephanie Jones would become more and more erratic. They would describe her as erratic, and then she became more erratic. And I was just like, not today. Holly said, Zack, you brought the juice last night. So juicy. You let your dinner get cold. I did. My dinner was outside and I let it get cold because it was too hot to handle. It's on YouTube right now. It's not on the podcast, but if you want to watch, it's like almost a 90-minute live that we did where we went through the updates. And she finally does address the mystery, the phantom lawsuit, the sham subpoena, all of that. She addresses that in it as well, because she brings up the fact. But so it's crazy. So she was working for another really big, powerful PR house, Jennifer Abel, who's Baldoni's publicist. And then Stephanie Jones approached her, and Stephanie Jones is like, hey, come be my vice president. You're gonna love it. You're gonna kill it. It's gonna be amazing. And she was kind of like, and everybody warned her, like, don't go with Stephanie Jones. She's kind of a monster. And Jennifer Abel's like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. She's making me a really good offer. It's good money. VP, let's do it. So she ends up coming over to Jones Work PR, working for Stephanie Jones, becomes the vice president. And one of her clients happened to be Justin Baldoni and Wayfair. And the reason she chose Justin Baldoni and Wayfair is because Stephanie Jones was a little too concerned with her other high profile clients, like The Rock, like Jeff Bezos, like Lauren Sanchez. Like there were all these other people. That Stephanie Jones thought were more of a priority outside of Justin Baldoni and Wayfair. So Jennifer Abel's like, all right, I'll take them on. You don't have to worry about it, Steph. So she takes them on as a client, and then eventually she doesn't like, there's a big turnaround at the New York office, and it just didn't seem like it was a fit. So I guess when it came to the promotion of It Ends With Us, they talk about how Baldoni's PR team, which included Jennifer Abel, and then they looped in Melissa Nathan, who's crisis PR, because they had some concerns about Blake Lively. But so they bring in Melissa Nathan to help monitor the online situation and see, what people were talking about, make sure no stories leaked into the press, right? Or at least we're staying ahead of things and making sure that the movie was positive, and they just wanted to see the movie through the finish. Then we find out that Stephanie Jones ends up planting some sort of negative story in the press, or somehow there's a negative story that gets out there that is connected back to Stephanie Jones, which Justin Baldoni, Jamie Heath, and the Wayfair parties all made very clear they did not want to play that nasty, shady game. They had ethics behind how they wanted to run their promotion. Stephanie Jones ends up inserting herself. And so, unbeknownst to Stephanie Jones, there was a truce that was made between Leslie Sloan and Jennifer Abel and Melissa Nathan. Both PR parties, both camps were saying, listen, we won't talk about each other negatively. We won't leak anything in the press. Let's just try to have a truce deal. Stephanie Jones ends up violating that truce deal when she goes and talks and gets some story out there that's negative about Blake Lively, or something that Leslie Sloan was not happy about. So then Stephanie Jones inserts herself and kind of throws the team under the bus. And she's like, I'm so sorry. I was actually on vacation. I don't know how this happened. Somebody from my team must have done this, and it wasn't me, and blah, 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 blah. Right? The first time she started licking Leslie Sloan's asshole. And so that whole situation happens. Baldoni and Jamie Heath say that we can't trust Stephanie Jones anymore. They want out of Jones Work PR because she went and did the one thing that they asked her not to do, which was to play hardball and to do these shady tactics in the press. Okay. So Jennifer Abel decides, okay, I'm going to leave. I'm going to give 6 weeks notice and let Jones Work PR know I'm going to be, moving on and starting my own thing. Justin Baldoni and Wayfair had already, I'm assuming, agreed to move outside. They wanted to leave Stephanie Jones, but they, I'm assuming, had some sort of deal where they were going to end up working with Jennifer Abel, or at least wait until their contract is up. But it seemed they had no interest in continuing their relationship with Stephanie Jones because she violated their trust and she went against their request. And so it kind of seems like that's what ended up causing this friction in the promotion outside of everything else. But what caused the PR friction between the two camps was this move that Stephanie Jones had made. Okay. Fast forward, Jennifer Abel tries to leave. She gives her 6 weeks notice. Then she has 2 days left of work. She shows up at the office one day, and there's an attorney. There's another member of Jones Work PR, and then there's a security guard. Stephanie Jones is not present. But so they take Jennifer Abel, Justin Baldoni's publicist, they take her into a conference room and basically under duress pressure her to sign some documents. They also take her personal laptop, extract information off the personal laptop to see if they find certain documents that Stephanie Jones is accusing Jennifer Abel of trying to steal. And Jennifer Abel's like, I don't have these documents. This is my personal laptop, like whatever. So then we get to the cell phone. And this is where it gets crazy. And this is where I see some attorneys say that there could be potential criminal charges. Now, again, these are all allegations, so we have to take it with a grain of salt. We haven't gone into the discovery phase. This is just Jennifer Abel's story. We have to wait to see these things actually play out, okay? But so aside from cornering her, making her sign these documents, go through her laptop and whatever, then we get to the phone piece, okay? Now remember, she still has 2 days left. So I guess when she came over to Jones' work, she had an Android, which I'm just like, Jennifer Abel, come on, that's a red flag. But whatever. She had an Android. We'll forgive her, right? I've seen worse. I've seen Blake Lively's hair care line. So I've seen Blake Lively's hair. So anyway, we've seen worse. Jennifer Abel ends up getting an iPhone because Stephanie Jones is like, listen, I will give you an iPhone and here you go. You can use this. It's a company phone, but I will allow you to use this company phone. And so Jennifer Abel says, okay, cool, but I want to keep my number. And this is very standard, right? When I was working for a company and they were paying for my phone bill, I got to keep my personal number and I got to even keep my personal phone, but my phone and number were put under the company plan. So these things happen all the time, right? I didn't need a new phone. I didn't want a new phone. I didn't need a new phone number. Like I wanted to keep it all, in my own personal possession. Which, then you have an understanding that if you were to leave, you get to keep your device or you get to keep your number, whatever. So they then pressure Jennifer Abel to give up her phone. They're like, listen, we need the phone because we own the phone. And so Jennifer Abel's like, okay, I will leave my phone. And they're like, but she's like, I need my phone number. And they're like, fine, go straight to Verizon. And when you go to Verizon, we'll make sure that the transfer happens. All they have to do is call us and we'll release the phone number. And so Jennifer Abel goes to Verizon, goes immediately to the Verizon store, no longer has her cell phone, so no longer has a way of communicating to anybody. And I believe there were other staff members at Jones Work PR that then said, like, listen, we'll contact your friends and your family and your husband and let them know that, like, you don't have a phone, whatever. So fast forward, Jennifer Abel's at Verizon. They call Jones Work PR and say, hey, we want to make sure that you can transfer the numbers. That way we can put it on a new phone. She's going to buy a new phone here at Verizon. And then they say, okay, give us a few minutes. Next thing you know, 4 hours goes by. She waited for them to resolve the situation for 4 hours. And not once did they call Verizon, did they get the situation started or anything, to the point where Verizon confirmed that they never even initiated the transfer at all. In possession of the phone, have the phone number, or not willing to release the phone number. So Jennifer Abel starts freaking out, and she realizes in this moment, she claims that she felt double-crossed by Stephanie Jones. And then it was a whole other saga. I think she had to get another phone and another phone number in which she was still trying to contact Stephanie Jones. And the crazy part was she had two-step authentication on her iPhone, and it was connected to her iCloud. So all of her information was on that device, or all of the access to all of her accounts could be accessed through that device. She did end up giving them, because they told her, give us the phone and give us the passcode to get into the phone. So she gave them the phone, she gave them the passcode, she went to Verizon, was left there for 4 hours, had to get a new number, had to get a new phone. She's begging Stephanie Jones to release her number. She's texting her, and she releases her text messages to Stephanie Jones in this, saying, like, listen, I've had this number since I was in high school. Can you please just release it? It has two-step authentication. I need to get into my bank, my medical information, my contacts, my husband's text messages, like all of that stuff is in there. That's personal, private data. You should not be able to access that data. Just please release my number. Please release my number so I can get into my accounts. Nothing. Right. She also then gets text messages from other employees who are saying, we've seen the text messages. We know what you were saying about us. And Jennifer Abel was like, what do you mean you've seen? Like, what do you mean? I've never said anything negative about you that would be shocking. And so that's when she learned that Stephanie Jones not only went through all of her messages, but then was sharing her messages with other people in the office to try and ruin her reputation. Evil. And then she backs that up with with screenshots of text messages between her and other employees at Jones Work to verify that these other employees had absolutely seen the messages that Stephanie Jones had become privy to, accessed, and then showed. So if Stephanie Jones is showing these text messages to other employees, then you better believe that's most likely how Leslie Sloan found out about these text messages from Stephanie Jones about this alleged smear campaign. So we've always said we thought that Stephanie Jones was the one. I've said this from the beginning, that Stephanie Jones was likely the one that tipped all of this off. She hit the first domino and boom, done. Louise says Stephanie Jones is married to an attorney. She's not married to an attorney. He's a partner at WME. Stephanie Jones' husband is a partner at WME. He's not an attorney. He's or maybe, I mean, I don't know if he went to law school. Oh, as Louis says, or at least he's been to law school. Okay, so he's been to law school. It's just, yeah, okay. So Elrich posted the rest of Blake's speech. Blake said that someone tried to whack her mom. Got it. Take her out. Got it. Which again is horrible, but I don't know. It just feels like she's exploiting this story for her own personal gain. Zack, the new motion against Jones, Friedman says that Jones has still been receiving all of the messages. Yes, until January 2025. Yes. That's what I was getting to. So not only does Stephanie Jones have access to all of her text messages and everything that's coming in, right? Because she has the code to the password. And so since the phone is linked to the iCloud, it's also linked to her laptop or whatever other devices, maybe an iPad. I don't know what other devices that Jennifer Abel had, but any messages or things that are coming in under that number or to that iCloud account, even via email, Stephanie Jones has access to, and she had access to it until January 2025. So that's just more recently. That's after all this lawsuit saga continued to unfold. And it's crazy that she left in August of 2024 and yet still had access up until January of 2025. And it was because she had to change her iCloud password in order to lock Stephanie Jones out of accessing any of that information, which is sick and twisted. And the way she keeps describing her as erratic, it's even more and more and more erratic. Leslie Sloan was on the carpet last night with Blake and Ryan and is in some sort of short video, I believe it. Yeah, which is just, it's sick, it's twisted how he was treated like he actually did something. I know. It's crazy. It's just, Amber Lively is going, oof. Blake's mother's reaction to when Blake was talking was so strange. It didn't fit any type of game of reaction to what Blake was saying. It was so performative. I don't know. All Lively family is an actor or actor's coincidence. Well, I hear all of the Lively family is not. I mean, I've heard things about Elaine, the mom. I've heard things about the brother Eric. I've heard things about Blake Lively for years. You know, it's just crazy. Why did Times interview Ryan Reynolds when he wasn't on the list at all? That was strange. Maybe they wanted Blake to do it and Ryan wanted the spotlight instead. I don't know. I'm so sorry. She's so naive. I will never commingle with personal life. Yeah, I will say Jennifer Abel does seem a bit naive in a lot of this. And I think a lot of it she should have fought harder. But I also understand her position. She kind of seems very sweet, right? Whereas Stephanie Jones is a bulldozer. She's a shark. She's all teeth, right? She's a ball buster with nothing but teeth, all the teeth. The sharpest shark teeth you could have is Stephanie Jones. So it's wild. And so it seems like she not only do they have some sort of, verification from these text messages that Jennifer Abel had that show that other employees at Jones Works saw her text messages, but we can only assume that's how Leslie Sloan became privy to them. And that's when Leslie Sloan called Melissa Nathan in August and said, I've seen the messages. You better get ready to get sued. And the next thing you know, boom. Lawsuit. Well, I guess the lawsuit was happening in September because that's when the Van Zandt lawsuit was filed. And then, yes, guys, hit the like button if you're enjoying the show. Hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't done so yet. Subscribe. We're almost at 100K. We're getting so close. We're almost there. We're like inching closer and closer. We're at 94.7. Can we get to 95 this week? 95,000? Hit that subscribe button, guys, if you haven't done so yet. But so it's just, It was a very yummy amended filing. They do address the subpoena thing because we then had the Van Zandt lawsuit that was filed in September, and then we get to the subpoena that was issued on October 1st. So, I mean, it could possibly be that maybe Stephanie Jones's husband, well, I don't know. I feel like Blake Lively has a pretty good legal team that probably addressed her to do all of this stuff. Blue Ocean says, I'm subscribed. Get him to 100K. Tiffany said, I just found my mom read my text messages in 2023 while visiting home. It's messed up and so bad. I'm in therapy for it. I cannot imagine how much this has messed up Jen psychologically. Oh my gosh. I wonder if they're panicking. I think they are, Louise. I really think they are. I think they're starting to panic. They have to. I think the lawyers might be panicking. I think they're trying to assure their clients that everything's good. Well, this is what I said from the beginning, though, right? The reason that they're doing all of these events and doing all of this stuff is because they want to show that they're still powerful in Hollywood. But my question is, what's going to happen should this go to trial and they don't win in their trial? Are they still going to be relevant in Hollywood? Because like Amber Heard had to completely flee the US. She left and is now in Europe. I believe she's in Spain now. So it appears, her career in Hollywood was done. Will Blake and Ryan be done in Hollywood, or will Hollywood continue to protect them? I mean, I also kind of think Amber Heard was so much smaller than Johnny Depp in terms of her career that this is kind of the opposite, whereas Blake and Ryan have the bigger careers in comparison to Justin Baldoni. I'm worried, is he even going to have much of a career after this? Like, is Hollywood going to want anything? Like, they're never going to invite him to Time 100. They're never going to have him at SNL 50, and I think Blake and Ryan know that. And I don't know if any of this helps. I think Baldoni's career in Hollywood may be done at this point. Even if he does win and is exonerated, I think, I don't know. Teresa H. Wow, Teresa H. Thank you for this very generous super chat. Teresa H. says, explains why Stephanie Jones hired a criminal lawyer. She knows her psycho behavior at revenge is going to possibly send her to prison. I hope and pray Stephanie Jones and all involved get the karma for their evil actions to the innocent Justin and Wayfair. Not just Justin and Wayfair, Jennifer Abel, Melissa Nathan's been dragged into this, Jed Wallace has been dragged into this. Those are all personal, private citizens, Another sleuth said that the lawyers on the Bush show last night were indicating that they want to negotiate a settlement. I'm sure they do. At this point, it's only getting worse for them, It's only getting worse. Alexandra says, how is staying relevant good for them if they're supposed to prove damages? Again, we're going to have to see how this continues to get argued in court. I agree with you. I don't think that this helps their case at all. I don't think any of this stuff helps their case. Brian Friedman tried to poke at the fact that they made a joke about all of this in the SNL skit that they did, but now we see that they're changing their tone, and now it's not about making jokes about it, but now they're like talking about the seriousness of domestic violence, which again is interesting considering Ryan Reynolds' company was hired to do the marketing for It Ends With Us, and Blake was the one that was the face of the promotional campaign for It Ends With Us, none of which was focused on survivors. So yeah. Oh, this one better not settle with Abel. I don't know. You have to remember jury trials are so unpredictable. Sometimes people just want things to be done rather than they want this to get dragged out in a trial. We'll have to wait and see. Katie says, agree, Zach. Even if he wins, there will still be people that think Justin Baldoni is a predator, just like there's still people that think Johnny Depp abused Amber Heard. Except she still never mentioned DV, SA, or SH. Exactly. Zach asking for 100K. He needs 20,000 by the end of this week. 100K for real estate. You guys, I think I want to invite, speaking of the Queen of Pakistan, Onijah Robinson. Remember her when she was trying to make Pakistan great again? I think I want to invite her to my New York show. Wouldn't that be fun? Have her in the Brooklyn show. In Brooklyn, New York. Damn, they don't make them like this anymore. I ask, is I'm that short? Does anybody make real anymore? Bow in the presence of greatness. Y'all should be honored by my lateness, that I would even show up to this fake shit. Kristen says, can you add an Atlanta show? As of right now, we don't have any plans to add any more shows. We're focusing on these 8 cities. I don't know if we'll add any more in the future. If we do add more shows, I think we will do shows in other countries, UK, Australia. But I think for the US shows, these are the ones we're sticking to for this year, guys. Trials are stressful. Settlement is always best, but will probably require a public apology of some sorts. Yeah, and I don't know if they're willing to do that. But so that's the Time 100 drama. That's the Jennifer Abel versus Stephanie Jones drama. Let's see. There was a new article that came out in the Daily Mail this morning or last night about this new filing. Let's give it a little skim, shall we? Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni's legal war takes a new twist with claims of psychic readings and mental breakdowns. Yes, and those are about Stephanie Jones because she was the one. I guess she would have a psychic at her office that would like help give her advice, which is kind of wackadoodle. Justin Baldoni's legal battle with Blake Lively has taken a bizarre new twist, with lawyers launching 14 new claims against his embattled former publicist Stephanie Jones. Baldoni, his movie company Wayfair, and his publicist for the film If It Ends With Us, Jennifer Abel, both filed new claims, including a violation of the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act, breach of contract, defamation, and fraud against Jones. They accused Jones of snooping on Abel's private messages all the way until January of this year and plotting a flagrant abuse of process with Lively to generate a subpoena in a sham lawsuit to cover up Jones allegedly leaking messages to Lively. Yeah, I think eventually these parties are all going to end up turning on each other. Just there's no way they don't. They have to in order to protect themselves. Like Lively, I think the New York Times will turn on Lively and say, listen, we trusted her in this information. Why wouldn't we trust her? She filed this legal document. Why would we think that she's lying? And I think Lively's going to then throw the buck back off onto Stephanie Jones and say, listen, she came to us and told us that there was a smear campaign. We trusted her. So I think we're going to see the dominoes start to tip back in the other direction, and they're going to start to turn on each other. Abel's new filing accused Jones of making bizarre claims about Abel to her staff based on supposed information from psychic readings. In one instance, Jones announced to Abel's subordinates that she had learned through psychic readings that Abel was an alcoholic and a gambling addict. That was wild. Abel added to the claim that that had no basis in reality and raised alarm about whether Justin was in the midst of a mental breakdown. Jones' camp added that Abel's latest filing offers no evidence for her claim and many are recycled. Abel's court claim said, although Jones had always been volatile, she now appeared to be actively unraveling. On a different occasion, Jones announced, again per her psychic, that Abel would soon be pregnant with twins, humiliating and infuriating Abel, who Jones knew had struggled with fertility issues. Jones' lawyer shot back, calling the new claims just a distraction and noise and a few debunked conspiracy theories in a scathing statement to the dailymail.com. The two bombshell documents filed in New York federal court totaled a combined 125 pages. The same night the documents were filed, Lively attended the Time 100 All-Star Gala in New York City, following her controversial inclusion on the publication's most influential people list. She was joined by her husband, Ryan Reynolds, at the event. She sparked a furious response from Megyn Kelly. Yeah, but Megyn said that she was bastardizing Me Too allegations. After Lively and Baldoni's legal battle exploded into the courts in December, Jones sued her former staffer, Jennifer Abel, in January, claiming that Abel plotted behind her back to steal Baldoni as a client and falsely pinned an alleged smear campaign against Lively on Jones. Trial watchers were expecting a run-of-the-mill filing this evening, a boilerplate denial of Jones's claims, but instead, Baldoni and Abel's lawyer, Brian Friedman, went on the offensive. Abel's filing accused Jones of stealing her personal data from her Joneswork PR firm company phone when she announced that she was quitting in July 2024. Here's Stephanie Jones. Here's Jennifer Abel. I mean, she does look like she's all teeth. And Jennifer Abel looks like she doesn't have teeth. You know, she looks like she's very soft and wants to just do good, cute fluff stories. Nothing against that. They're just different styles with publicists. She claims that Jones had illicit access to all of her personal texts through her iCloud account until as recently as January of this year. Abel claimed the alleged snooping amounted to a violation of the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act, violations of Stored Communications Act, and violations of Federal Wiretap Act. The clause were out in the filing, with Abel giving a damning description of Jones's workplace. The claimed morale at Jones' work was abysmal and had a toxic workplace culture, and staff constantly gossiped and complained. Abel even claimed Jones would regularly turn on deafening music so that she could berate her employees free from scrutiny. She quoted an unnamed employee allegedly saying, "I don't think there was one day in the office someone wasn't crying." Abel claimed that when she left and Jones seized her company phone, the PR boss had been sharing her private text messages with the entire office, mocking and disparaging her. The filing even claimed that Jones retained access to Abel's iCloud for months and months after monitoring and intercepting her private communication in real time, not only with her clients, fiance, doctors, parents, and friends, but also with the undesired counsel. In their filing, both Abel and Wayfair cited another twist in the case that was revealed by the Daily Mail last week. DailyMail.com uncovered how Lively used her little-known company, Van Zandt Inc., to quietly file a mysterious lawsuit against unnamed defendants in September last year, months before her public legal battle with Justin Baldoni began. She then used the lawsuit to secretly issue a subpoena to Jones for embarrassing texts between Baldoni, Abel, and her crisis PR Melissa Nathan without alerting any of them. Those texts, allegedly showing a smear campaign plot against Lively, were used in a bombshell California legal complaint in December that kicked off the public legal war between the two Hollywood stars and were shared with the New York Times in an explosive article the next day. Now, again, it's crazy because they filed this Van Zandt lawsuit in New York and then ended up dropping that lawsuit, filing the CRD complaint in California. The CRD complaint is to get the right to sue letter. You already had the right to sue because you had already sued these 10 does. In the legal filing on Thursday night, Abel and Wayfair slammed the tactic as a sham lawsuit and nothing more than a transparent ploy to obtain subpoena power. Abel called it a flagrant abuse of process. Since there were no identifiable parties and no party had been served, the subpoenas were issued without notice, depriving Abel of any knowledge of the subpoena, much less the opportunity to object. She accused Jones of having already leaked texts with Lively's team and using the secret Van Zandt lawsuit to create a veneer of legitimacy and plausible deniability. As a result of Jones' malicious scheme, Abel's life had been turned upside down, her filing said. In an unimaginable invasion of Abel's privacy and dignity, Jones and the Lively parties now possess the full contents of Abel's iCloud and email accounts, including her photos, text messages, and emails. Abel lives in fear of what is to come, given the vast troves of personal data in possession of these hostile actors. Wayfair's filing accused Jones of a breach of contract for giving up the messages, claiming it violated the confidentiality provision and voluntarily and maliciously disclosed confidential information. That she did. As well as 2 counts of breach of contract, they issued Jones a breach of implied covenant and defamation. Jones' lawyer hit back with a statement to the Daily Mail, slamming the new claims as a distraction from what they say was a straightforward breach of contract by Abel. Jones' attorney, Kristen Taylor, accused Friedman of reversing course, dropping previous touted claims, presenting zero new evidence. Taylor was referring to Abel's previous stance that she had suffered false imprisonment, trapped at the Jones work office, and intimidated into signing documents and giving up her company phone, a claim that did not appear in the filings on Thursday. We did read those. That was still in the complaint, from the amended complaint that we read last night, at least. This case will be decided on the mountain of evidence that demonstrates Wayfair Studios and Miss Abel deliberately breached their contracts with Jones Work, which the defendants have conspicuously failed to refute. The defendants' weak attempt to assemble their own case against Miss Jones amounts to nothing more than a few debunked conspiracy theories and media gimmicks that have no basis in fact or evidence. Until Daily Mail's discovery of the Van Zandt lawsuit, the timeline of the courtroom battle between Lively and Baldoni appeared to begin in December, when she filed a California Civil Rights Department complaint and a federal lawsuit accusing him of sexual harassment and retaliation. Lively claimed that he had acted unprofessionally on the set of the domestic abuse movie It Ends With Us, in which the pair starred and Baldoni also directed. She also accused Baldoni and his team of publicists of launching a smear campaign against them amid the release of the summer film. Baldoni filed a countersuit in January. Both parties denied the allegations against them. All right, I think this is just a recap of everything that's to come. Yeah, the footage, Daily Mail revealed that it did have audio and picked up a full account of the conversation, revealed that it had been about the smell of Blake Lively's fake tan. Yeah, as fake as her heart. Okay, so that's kind of the recap from the Daily Mail, which, whew, so much to get into. Shauna says Stephanie Jones could have just continued Google search, pictures taken, watched where she drove, and heard her voice searches. Always sign out of Google when you give your phone or iPad. I know, because you have access to everything. Nicole says, do you think it's possible that Justin Baldoni's career will flourish if he wins? I, for one, would support any project he was part of. Yes, we would support him because we're following this case. But remember, Hollywood is not protecting him. The media, the press, they're not protecting him. And I think it's because they will turn on him. They've already turned on him. I don't think there's any winning or coming back for him. I don't think his career was ever as big as Johnny Depp's, which Johnny Depp is now about to make his Hollywood comeback. He has a new film that he's doing, but I don't know. I unfortunately don't have as much faith for Baldoni. I know we'll support him, but I think we would have to support him through any indie projects he may do. I don't know if I have full faith that it's going to, that Hollywood is going to embrace him after this. Monica Smart says, I hope the U.S. Attorney's Office picks up this and a federal prosecutor pushes forward with federal charges against Jones, if not more. Yeah. Amy Shepard says, with her super chat says, correct me if I'm wrong, but wouldn't metadata or IP addresses with logins from Abel's cloud be proven to be in areas Abel wasn't? I'm sure, right? Because they would presumably be in either Connecticut, where Stephanie Jones lives, or New York, where Stephanie Jones works. But now at least we have that question answered, remember? Because we were like, how did Jennifer Abel's phone get from California to New York? And now we know that Stephanie Jones was reviewing her text messages and looking at her phone. Therefore, we would assume that they sent the phone from the Los Angeles office of Jones' work over to the New York office, and that's how the phone came to New York, and that's why the subpoena was then able to move forward in New York. So, because remember, there was concerns about, was this phone in California, and the phone should have remained in California. Well, in this case, it seems that the phone was transposed to New York and put into the possession of Stephanie Jones, which is how they were able to do the subpoena. Amy Shepard says, my husband used to work in cybersecurity and verified that all of this information will be able to be found by, I don't know, white hat security guys. Interesting. Listen, I'm pretty sure Brian Friedman's going to get into it. You're so great. The Time magazine CEO is prepared to resign over it. She's getting destroyed. Understandably, it was a stupid move. I wonder who authorized that. I mean, they knew that it would get people talking, but it kind of shoots the credibility of Time magazine. Not that there was a whole ton of credibility left, but all of these people are being exposed. Daisy said Hollywood turned their back on Johnny too, but he's a powerhouse. Yeah, he's a name. He's a celebrity. He's a star, right? Not that Justin Baldoni doesn't have star power or star quality, but he certainly didn't have the career that Johnny Depp had, or the marketability that Johnny Depp has, right? So many people know Depp. I love you, Zack, but I hope you're wrong. Johnny Depp put Justin to work, please. Yeah, I mean, that would be a real powerhouse move if Johnny Depp used his power in Hollywood to get Baldoni booked and busy. That would be huge. Baldoni can still produce and direct. Yeah. And I think that's probably the direction that he'll go in. He'll be a director and a producer. I don't think he'll do much acting after this, TBH. Okay, let's move on to the Obama divorce rumors. So they seem to be shutting these divorce rumors down. They said, nope, not today. No way, Jose. And TMZ has just spotted them in Georgetown. So they went out to dinner the other night in DC, and people are like, oh my God, it's the Obamas. We haven't seen them together in months and months and months. And there have been these rumors that they live separate lives and are technically separated and may be divorcing or maybe announcing their separation, but we just spotted them out to dinner. Does that mean that they're not actually divorcing? Not exactly. I mean, they could have been out to dinner to discuss divorce plans. They could have been out to dinner. I mean, it's interesting that normally there are backdoor entrances for certain restaurants so that you can kind of discreetly get in and out. So this to me did kind of feel like they wanted to be seen. They're walking all the way out through the restaurant where everybody can see them and everyone's like, "Oh my God, it's the Obamas. Oh my God, photos, hi." So it kind of felt like they wanted to be seen. Wyoming girl says, "The more Michelle Obama speaks, the less I like her." Um, I just think she doesn't seem to really like Barack all that much in just the interviews that she's done or the comments that she's made on our podcast. I believe that they're living separate lives. I believe that they're separated. I think enough people have brought this to the forefront. I haven't been fully convinced on the Jennifer Aniston rumors. I don't know if I believe that Barack Obama and Jennifer Aniston are actually dating. I hear that he does have a thing for white girls. So obviously that would make if he ended up leaving Michelle Obama and then dating a white woman, I think that would definitely not be a good look for him. I think people would be very upset with him for that. Yeah. So I've heard that he definitely has a thing for white girls, for white women. And I've heard also there are the rumors that he may be gay. I don't know. These are all just rumors and speculation. There's no real confirmation of any of it. It's all alleged, but I do believe that they will stay legally married, but are absolutely separated. Legally married and married for show are different. Yeah, I agree. I think they're married for show. I think they're together for show. Someone made a really good point that, like, if they were to get divorced and then they were not only, the first, not only was he the first Black president, but then if he's the first president to get divorced that also happens to be Black, that I think, that would probably not play well. I don't know. I just think I don't believe that their marriage is as solid as they want us to think, and just this very obvious photo op of them being out, I don't think immediately debunks the divorce rumors. Which again, the rumors are more so that they're separated. I don't think they'll get divorced. Very similar to Kyle and Mauricio on Real Houses of Beverly Hills, or Dorit Kemsley and PK on Beverly Hills. Like, I think they're separated, but they're still legally married. We'll see. None of our business. He hasn't been president in years. Well, of course it's our business. He's, it's always going to be our business. Any public facing politician is going to be of public interest to us. Justin Bieber did it. Justin Bieber did what? He got divorced? He hasn't gotten divorced. Dun, 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 dun. Well, we'll see what happens, but I don't think that this one little photo op is going to be enough to debunk those rumors. On my watch list, because I have been trying to catch up on my reality shows, I watched Bravo's The Valley last night. And it was actually pretty good. I watched Bravo's The Valley, and then I also watched Hulu's Vanderpump Villa. Vanderpump Villa is always just, like, beautifully shot. It just always looks good. Stassi Schroeder's back. I'm excited to see Queen Stassi back on television. I haven't finished the first episode of Vanderpump Villa, but I did start it. Threads even sent me an Italian dinner, so I got to have my yummy gluten-free pasta with a glass of red wine, and I got to watch Vanderpump Villa and The Valley. The Valley was really good. I think The Valley feels very real. It feels like real families trying to make it in the Valley and trying to juggle marriage and kids and relationships. I think the most compelling pieces are the Michelle and Jesse divorce, their separation, and them trying to co-parent, and Michelle just being, like, super cold, and Jesse, like, trying to be super emotional and be like, "Don't be mean. Don't leave me alone for the holidays." I don't think Michelle is coming off good at all. I don't. And then the way she blindsides him by saying that his girlfriend's cheating on him. I met his girlfriend last year, a few months ago. Jared Lips had a charity event, and I got to meet the girlfriend there. And I remember asking her there, I was like, "Do you plan on being on The Valley now that you're dating Jesse, like season 2, whatever?" And she's like, "No, I have no interest." And now we see she really does have no interest because she's trying to prevent them from showing her face or mentioning her name. I think the reason she's fighting for them not to be able to speak about her is because of the rumors that she was cheating on Jesse, which now we see Sheena Shea confirms that she was cheating on Jesse with someone from Baywatch. Who's the guy from Baywatch? Do you imagine if it was David Hasselhoff? I doubt it's Hasselhoff, but it's interesting. Janet's storyline's kind of boring. Her still crying. I mean, I get it. Her being upset about Zack and his comments about the baby and her pregnancy and whatnot, and how he says he doesn't care if she loses the baby. Obviously, terrible thing to say. And then when it comes to Janet specifically, like I get it why she would be upset, but the way I feel like she's really dragging this out, you can even see when she's trying to talk to like Brittany about it, and she's just like, it just still traumatizes me. And Brittany's like, Meanwhile, Brittany is like facing real trauma with what she's experiencing with Jax and Jax's coke addiction, right? And so to me, I just like I get where Janet's coming from, but I also feel like Janet's really trying to push and work up the waterworks. We didn't see a ton of Kristen this episode. We did, I guess, when she sat down with Jackson. She's like, you need to get together. You threw a chair, you threw a table. Like, it's very obvious that Cruz kind of seems to be a bit scared of Jax. Just when we see him walk into the house and he sees his dad, Jax sees him and Jax is walking up to him and he kind of just like is a little scared and like doesn't really want to embrace him the same way he embraces Brittany. Jeremy Jackson. Oh, Jeremy Jackson. No way. Jeremy Jackson. Oh my God. Jeremy. She hooked up. He's really cute. I met him at an event a while back, but he looks so like not cute anymore with the beard. I mean, uh, 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 he's kind of weathered, you know? Yeah, he's a little weathered. Is his hair real? OMG. Let me see if I can pull up his Instagram and we can review this. Jeremy Jackson. Here we go. Does he follow me? I feel like at one point he did follow me. We met each other at an event, this wellness event years ago. Okay, I was blonde. I want to say I was blonde at the time. I did so many wellness events in that era, like moderating on panels and stuff. Yeah. Let me see. Oh, festival. Jeremy. How do you spell his name? Jeremy Jackson. Let's see. Jeremy Jackson. Baywatch. This is 2024, 2014. Okay, well, let's pull up his Instagram so we can see what he looks like these days. That's the guy. Okay, that makes sense, right? That absolutely makes sense. Let's see. Here's Jeremy. Oh, cute. See, I don't love the beard. Like, that to me is not cute. And this outfit, I'm not digging this outfit. What is this outfit? I don't like it. This is who she bagged? This is who she's banging?
How you doing?
No.
Good to see everybody.
No. Make it stop. I don't like it. I don't like it. Oh. Oh. He's got a great body, though. What is this? Like a circle jerk with all the dudes? We're just like gonna rub one out together. Baywatch misunderstood. Remember Baywatch? Former Baywatch star Jeremy Jackson has gone through some crazy life experiences and now he's an advocate for health and wellness. Chiropractic is part of his regimen. He goes to the chiropractor, that's his regimen? Okay. You know, brothers and men. See, I don't like his look though. His vibe. Like, would you bang him? Like, are we? Let's see.
To focus on the problems. I don't like how I feel when I focus on the problems. I mean, right now we could go over my accounting and I would feel my throat get tight. Like, I don't even want to look at it. You know, let's just let a sleeping dog lie and do the best we can right here, right now. But even out there party, you know, even out there on TV, I would blind myself to the worries.
Okay, cute. Casey says she would still bang him. Okay, I mean, good for you. Annabelle says, I'm dying over here. I'm in a meeting and I want to listen to your rant about Baldoni live last night. I mean, it was motion to dismiss denied for Abel. Did that just come in? Where did you see that? I don't see anything. Motion to dismiss denied for Abel. Like Abel's motion to dismiss has been denied? Jen says, no, I don't like the freaking beard. The beard is what kills it for him, right? Kane says, I don't dig those thick beards. Imagine what's in them. Yeah. Sydney says he's not for me. Yeah, he's just not. I feel like he had an era where he was like really hot. And then like lately, I don't like the beard. The beard and the facial hair, it's just too big of a, it's like the long grown out beards are not the vibe. His body looks great though. His body does look really great. And I like the body. I like the vibe, but I don't like the look. You know? He can put all his toxic positivity vibes. This is who she was bragging about sleeping with though? Really? Oh, he was on Heather McDonald's show. Heather McDonald, juicy scoop. All right. Well, Janelle, that's all I got for you. Wait, let's see. I think John Bass from Baywatch. Yeah. Wait, I want to know more. Thanks, Zack, for expressing frustration that we were all feeling. Thank you. Can I ask what's the tour show all about? Sorry, I'm new. Oh, yeah. So the tour, thank you for bringing that up, Sophie. It's a live taping of the podcast. So if you enjoy streaming the podcast online, then you're going to get a live IRL in-person taping on stage. So you can come to a show. You're going to watch the show live on stage. The shows, when I do live shows, they're typically broken up into two parts. So the first half of the show is all hot topics. I bring on different creators, podcasters, YouTubers, TikTokers. I usually will have a panel to kick off the show, and we'll break down all of the juicy topics. We'll all weigh in, similar to like town halls that you've seen here on the podcast or on YouTube when I have different guests all together. And so we all come together and discuss whatever's hot in the headlines for that week. And then the second half of the show is going to be a featured guest interview. So I'll have a special guest that'll come out. We'll spill tea together. And it's a one-on-one interview. Or in some cases, I've had like 2 or 3 guests that have been part of that. Like I've had like, I think my Valentine's Day show, I had Kristen Takeman from The Real Housewives of New York. My Thanksgiving show, I had Gigi and Reza from Shaws of Sunset and Kristen Doty from The Valley. They were all on my panel, my featured panel. And then on the Hot Topics panel, I had like the Brav Bros. I had Donna Bowling. I had Lauren Herbert from Access Hollywood. So it's usually different reporters, podcasters, YouTubers. So some of your favorites that you like to watch regularly or you see me collaborating with, you may see them in different cities. It's not going to be the same show in every city. It's going to be a different panel of people. It's going to be a different special guest. Some may mix onto other cities, but you're never going to get the same show in more than one city. It's going to be fun. We're going to probably do some audience engagement. We're going to play some games. We're going to have a lot of fun. Are you still close with the Brav Bros? I love the Brav Bros. I do. Barb said, WTF. WTF what, Barb? Danny says, I am Chicago represent. Yes, Danny's coming. She's coming to represent Chicago. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. We have Danielle who's coming to New York. All the things. So go get your tickets now at nofilterlive.com. I'm coming to Dallas, Phoenix, Philly, Toronto, Brooklyn, Chicago, Seattle, and Los Angeles. Get your tickets now at nofilterlive.com. Nofilterlive.com. Life to the Full says, I trust Zack way more than Time Magazine. Well, thank you. It's not how it should be, but I appreciate that. Brittany says Heather would be good for your Phoenix show since she came here a lot as her son is about to graduate ASU. Oh, that's a good point, Brittany. But she also, it's at the Tempe Improv. That's the one that she fainted at. Lizzie says, I'm so disappointed I'm going to be out of the country when you're in Phoenix. We'll come to one of the other shows, Lizzie. LA, baby. Yep, Redondo Beach is coming to LA. Zack just emailed Stephanie Jones's denial to, perfect. Oh, here we go. On the docket, here it is. Jones. Okay. Let's open this up on the show so we can all review this together. Dun. But yeah, get your tickets to the No Filter Live podcast tour. It's going to be a lot of fun. Come on down. It's going to be good. It's going to be a good time. It's always a good time. Okay, let's see. Please take notice. The plaintiff, Stephanie Jones and Jones' work hereby move to dismiss the counterclaims asserted by defendants in an answer to the complaint filed on March 20th, 2025, with prejudice without leave. In support of this motion, plaintiff respectfully submits the accompanying memorandum. Oh, so they're just filing a motion to dismiss? They haven't actually been dismissed? I'm confused. What is this? Is this anything? This isn't anything. This is a notice of plaintiff's motion to dismiss defendants. There's not been a decision made yet. It's literally just them filing to dismiss these claims. Okay. All right. Denied because they amended their complaint. Okay, got it. Tiffany said, who in here just said they're from Arizona and is going to the Phoenix show? I don't want to go alone. Guys, go with Tiffany. Go with Tiffany. Yay, pics with you guys at shows. Yes, I posted a bunch of them on. You want to see pics of my show? You want proof that the shows are real? She's like, can you? She's like, pics or it didn't happen. Okay, I can show you some pics, and they won't be like the Blake Lively naughty pics. I'll show you pics to prove that it happened. I did live shows. She's like, pics. Look, there's me on stage at my Valentine's Day show. This is the last show I did in Philly. There are the Brav Bros. There's Dorinda Medley from The Real Housewives of New York. Here's a show I did at the Bourbon Room here in Los Angeles with Mercedes Javid, MJ from Traders and from Shaws of Sunset, Christian De La Torre from The Traders, season 1. Here's me in LA, my LA show. There's Christian De La Torre. There's Evan Real. If you guys watch virtual reality or the Page 6 morning show on Sirius XM, that's Evan. Here's Lala Kent from Vanderpump Rules. Here you see me and some of my other creator friends. This is Faces by Bravo, Jeff, my co-host from Disaster Daters, and then there's Evan again. Here's me with New Kids on the Block. There's Donnie Wahlberg. There's Jordan Knight. That was a full panel that I did with New Kids on the Block in Chicago. Here was my Thanksgiving show. There's Reza. There's Kristen. There's Gigi. Here's my New York show that I did with the Brav Bros. This is Megan King from The Real Housewives of Orange County. Here's another shot of the NKOTB guys. There's Danny Wood. Here's Chris from Real Housewives of Potomac. This is Candace Dillard's wife, Chris Bassett. There's my friend Jolene Lunzer, who's a comedian. She was the MC for the night. She always does my LA shows. She's my MC. Here are the Brav Bros, Megan King again. This was the New York show. So yeah. There you go. Pics to prove that I've actually done this before. Ha. There you go, Sophie. Proof. Receipts, proof, timeline, screenshots, everything. Okay. There we go. Is that proof? Sophie says, I would go to Phoenix. Go to Phoenix with Tiffany. Tiffany's looking for someone to go with. Danielle says, I bought my VIP tickets to New York. Sophie said, not proof, just for fun. Okay, I'm kidding. I'm teasing. She's like, show me. Jane says, I'm going to Seattle. I'm from Portland and would love someone to join me. There you go, Jane. Janae. Sorry, Janae. Well, Janae. Well, Janelle. Wait, today is Friday. Is Friday, right? Yes, today is Friday. I'm going out with Chef Stu. We're going to Countess Luann's cabaret show. Chic, c'est la vie. C'est bon. C'est bon. So we're going to go to dinner, and then afterwards we're going to go see Luann, and we're going to go to the show. I've never been to the Countess show. I haven't done it before, so this will be my first time. I'm excited. I think she was asking if there will be pics with you, Zack. Oh, yes, there will be pics with me if that's what you were asking. So there are meet and greet packages and there's a VIP package. The VIP package comes with like a cool pre-show like mixer that we'll do. So we'll get to hang out in like a more intimate setting. So only the Zack Pack VIPs will be at that pre-show mixer. You'll also get a free piece of merch. You'll get a laminate. Like it'll be a really cool experience. And then if you get the meet and greet package, then there will be a meet and greet where we'll do photos after the show. Carol says, I love you with dark hair, looking healthy now. Thank you. I feel healthy. That got the receipts, right? She's like, prove to me that you've done a live show before. And I was like, okay, fine. She said, that's not what I meant, but still cool. Thank you. I know, I'm just teasing you. Will any of the shows be streamable? No. As of right now, we don't have any plans to stream any of the shows. So if you want to catch them, you will have to come on out. Zack better get ready for me. I know that's right. Heard the nicest things about Luann from Crappy Lake. Yes, they loved Luann. The others didn't love Sonia. Oh my God, you know about NKOTB? LOL, you look so young. I thought the hair color was just part of the fad. Snap, snap. I was blonde for like 6 years. Not 7 years. I think 6 years. I was blonde. There was a whole chunk of the 10. So of No Filter's 10 years, 6 of them I was blonde. Crazy, right? Oh, mid count MTD counterclaims 44 and 46 are denied moot. Plaintiffs may answer the amended counterclaims or file new motions to dismiss in accordance. Got it. Thank you for that clarification. Jeremy Jackson is the one who dated Loney and became homeless and still lives on the streets. Jeremy Jackson doesn't live on the streets, does he? He lives on the streets. Madison says Blake said specifically during the premiere that she had no experience or connection to DV. I remember that. And now all of a sudden her mom's a victim. Zack and Baldoni team still amend their complaint after the new info we received last week. I believe once there's an answer to the motions to dismiss, they can, yes. You appeared on Vanderpump Rules back at the beginning, right? Not exactly. I mean, I've been on, they've played my podcast. So my podcast has been featured on Vanderpump Rules. Yes, I was never a cast member. I never worked at SUR. I never worked at Pump. I've never worked for Lisa Vanderpump. I just met her for the first time last week. So, yeah. We got the premiere tickets are at table 631. There's one seat left. Oh, in Phoenix or in Philly? Where you guys can see what table you're at? Some venues allow you to pick your seat. Other venues don't until you're actually there. But VIPs will get first access to get whatever table that they want. You get first dibs on access. Love to hear now. Thank you. All right. All right, guys. I love you. I appreciate you. I think this is where I leave you. This was fun. I love you guys. So I will talk to you next week. I think the Jennifer Abel review of that lawsuit is going to be a members only. I'm going to move that to members only. So if you caught the live stream, great. If you didn't, you'll have to become a member to watch it. Or I'll give you guys like an hour. I'll make it members only later today. So if you want to catch it now, great. Or get or you can become a member. Jen says, okay, getting my ticket gallery. Okay. Oh, look at, there we go. You guys are getting together, getting your table arrangements ready. Do we have a members only this week? Did we have a member? I feel like we had a members only this week. We did on Tuesday, Wednesday, Monday. We had a members only, didn't we? Post pics of you and Stu. Of course, we're going to post pics with me and Stu tonight. I always post pics. Stu, listen, Stu is all about the photos. He goes to these events because he loves the photos. So we're absolutely going to be. All right. Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend. I'll talk to you on Monday. Be sure to follow me at Just Plain Zack and at the podcast account at No Filter with Zack on Instagram so you can stay up to date with all the latest tea. If anything new breaks between now and Monday, you'll catch it on the socials. So go give me a follow, give the podcast a follow, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.